Hey guys, Camille here from Cammie's Cafe Renovation Training and Snap Fitness Anoka. I am doing a giveaway, so if you are looking for a new foam roller or maybe you know someone that could use one, make sure to find my post on my page and give it a comment, a share, a like, and tell me how you're doing. I would be happy to give this foam roller away to you. So what I'm seeing, the feedback is a lot of people either have a foam roll or have a foam roll and don't know what to do with it or why you should be foam rolling. So let me tell you a little bit about what foam rolling can do to help fix some posture problems that we're having. So with the great change that's happening in the world, our working environment may have changed. And if you're like me, who used to stand all day long, I'm now sitting a whole lot more. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to release my tight hip flexors due to hours and hours and hours of sitting. So if you're like me and sit a whole lot more during the day, listen up, because this one's for you and it's going to make you feel a whole lot better. The most important thing to remember with foam rolling is it is a painful thing to do, but it's pain leaving the body. This is pain you have to endure now, not years down the line. So let's go ahead and show you what I mean. So I'm just going to pop this down here, and I'm going to give you a visual demonstration to what those hips look like. So right now, if our hips are nice and tucked and straight like an athlete, my hip flexors are nice and open. But when I'm sitting all day, even if I'm sitting with good posture, my hips are still in a shortened pattern. They're still closed up. And then we get to this kind of posture, twiddling our thumbs on our phone or sitting on a toilet, and those hip flexors are going to get even more tight. And even if we're opening up, our hips are still in that closed position. And a lot of us tend to be quad dominant beings as well, being that we squat, step upstairs, and use our quads a whole lot more. And if you want to think about it in terms of a tight muscle and two weak muscles, we're never going to be able to get these weaklings to pitch in and pull their own weight if these guys are being too stubborn and too tight and they're going to hold that posture. So even though we're standing up, and I'm just exaggerating, but that body's going to hold on to that posture throughout your day. So then we end up with cheerleader butt or anterior pelvic tilt. So again, and it's not as extreme for everybody. It might only be a slight tilt, but again, it's because your hips are trying to favor those tightened hip flexors and those tight quads. And so if someone has ever told you that you have weak glutes and hamstrings, listen up, because I don't care how hard you're squeezing, those efforts are going to be wasted if we haven't released the front side of our legs first. And why don't I just stretch? Great question. Stretching can only pull from the ends of that muscle, because if that entire muscle is so gosh darn tight, it's not going to want to stretch. It wants to protect itself. So if we go through with a foam roller and inch by inch, make sure that that meat is nice and loosened up, then we go to stretch, then that baby's stretching throughout that whole muscle belly, not just the ends putting extra strain and tension where we don't want it. So let's hop down onto the floor and start showing you my two mandatories that I always do every time I foam roll, especially because I'm sitting more. So this first one is just on my quads. So what I'm going to do here is I'm kneeling, putting it just below my knees so that as I work up, you want to be working towards the heart, towards your blood. That's the way your veins work. So what you're looking for foam rolling is to find that sore spot, find that tender spot, sit on it for 30 to 60 seconds, and then let it melt away. And it's going to be painful, but that's okay, because remember, it's pain leaving the body. And if you go through here and you're like, that's not too bad, try shifting your weight onto one leg and kind of rolling that quad around. Oh, there it is. I found it. And then once you get onto that spot, you want to use as much calming energy as you can contract, and just to let that muscle sink around that foam roll. And work after about 30 seconds, I can feel I'm a little bit away from that. You'll start to feel it give in and kind of mold around that foam roll. That's what you're looking for. There we go, mine just gave. And then you'll go and hunt out the next spot. Remember, the more spots that you can hunt out and find, the better. So if you don't have any, you might just not be looking hard enough. I'm not going to bore you with doing my whole foam roll routine, but just remember that if this is the first time you're foam rolling, you're probably going to have 15 to 20 spots, times a minute each spot, times each leg. We could be here for a while, but remember, if we've spent our entire life getting tight and never taking time to release anything, of course it's going to take some backlog work. So be patient. I would rather have you, start small, make it a part of your daily routine, and then go from there, because you don't want to be overwhelmed by this and pick up your foam roller for a week and never want to do it again. So the next part that we're going to foam roll here is going to be some of the hip flexor muscles that we have up by our hip crease. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to be laying on our side. We're going to bring that left leg over the top, bring that left hand over the top, so now I have the ability to pick up my body over my foam roll. And what I'm going to do is, it's just like looking for that front pocket on those jeans, that stupid little one that does nothing. Well, I want you to find that spot on your hip, and then I want you to roll your hips forward so that you're pressing majority of the weight on those hip flexor muscles that help to bring your knee up. And so this is going to help. Again, we're looking with a 3x3 triangle up in that corner pocket on each side. Spend 30 to 60 seconds on each side. Put as much weight as you can bear, but just know that that arm and leg are there to take pressure off when needed. And then, once you get each side foam rolled, what you're going to want to do is go and stretch both of those muscles right away after while they're nice and loose. So what you want to do for that is a nice big lunge. We're going to make sure we tuck that tail. So we're scooping that tail forward. It will almost drop that back knee for us already. So we have a nice flat hip crease here. And we're going to drop into that lunge. Woo! Nice and tight there. Remember to keep your chest back. Remember, your body is going to be fighting you. Your body doesn't want pain. So it's going to try to protect that crease instead of making it stretch open. So you got to be patient with yourself. You can bring that arm up and over to really solidify that stretch, and it should make it a little bit deeper. And then once you've done that, you can go ahead and grab that foot back behind you, adjust if needed, and then pull your chest back again. Make sure we don't get too crouched. Keep that tail tucked. And so now we should feel this really stretching throughout that entire quad. Now, if your flexibility is not great and you can't do this, no problem. If you have a couch behind you, what you can do is put your foot on top of the couch, reverse engineer it, get back into the position. Just make sure that tail's not trying to run away. Keep that tail tucked so you're pushing through the bottom of your glute, feeling that nice flat hip crease. And so really that's going to stretch your hip flexor and your quad, 2 in 1. So what I would recommend for when is the best time to foam roll, I would say foam rolling before your workout is mandatory. I would say about a good 20 minutes until you really get into the swing of things and are focusing on the right places. Plan for 20 minutes before your workout. But I promise you, if you spend a little bit of time before your workout, making sure your hips are open and that your glutes and hamstrings have the opportunity to come to a full contraction, your workouts are going to be more meaningful and they're going to be more impactful, and you're going to create more muscle damage, which is what you want. So I would say 20 minutes before your workout. And then if you have any spots that were really crazy that day, go ahead and watch some TV at night while you're doing your foam rolling. Or if you're struggling to fall asleep, hop on that foam roll. What I like to do with foam rolling as well is to habit stack. So I'll pair something that I don't like doing, foam rolling, with something that I do like doing, watching YouTube, hours and hours. So if you really love doing something, watching a certain show, whatever it is, try to only do that activity while you're doing your foam rolling. Or call friends, right? If you really like catching up with your gal Gabby, give her a call when you're foam rolling. Make it a foam roll date. Set up your Zoom call, hang out with your gal pals, find a way to be productive and make it somewhat enjoyable, because again, we want to continue to incentivize ourselves to continue to do this. So thanks guys, hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if you have questions. I'm super happy to help answer them. If I wasn't clear about something, or if you were curious about other body parts that you can foam roll, definitely make sure to send me a message or send me an email at camisoul@gmail.com. And be sure to subscribe, like, share, comment, do all the things. I'm giving away this foam roller to one of my lovely fans this week, or next week, Thursday. So stay tuned for that. And hopefully this was helpful. We'll see you next time.